baby shine, baby Billie Jean bling. Like, had up in the scene, she my guillotine queen. Know a couple niggas, but I only rock with kings.
Said I remember this in the morning. You used to call me when I was younger, and my mother used to trip, but you was on it. Now I'm mature and I see what you was talking.
Foresight fam, what's going on? This your boy Arden here, man, coming live from NYC. Super excited for the interview that we have on hand. We're with the guys, man. They had an incredible year in 2023. That Stainless Global crew gave us how many parts of that global warning, traveling all over the world, the visuals looking on point, and they are ready to go for what's going to be another great 2024. I got my brothers here with me, man. I got Steelyone and I got Dre Jurell. What's the word? How we doing, man? We back at it. We got another one. Fellas, how are we feeling to start the new year?
Excited.
Super excited. For y'all, right, to enter this year, okay? And say this with a little bit of truth, but also the jokingly matter. You know, last year it was great to see y'all do y'all thing, man, because I helped inspire it. You know what I'm saying? I helped inspire it. You know what I'm saying? You know, just had to tell the guys, you know, y'all bless us with so little, but it means so much when you give it to us that it stays with us. But to go back to the top last year, right? And Dre, I want to start this off with you. When Stainless was looking at the 2023 vision board and y'all was looking at music, what ultimately inspired y'all in all seriousness to be like, yo, we gotta really load up and drop for the people?
I think what happened was we were gearing up for Dark Victory, and we wanted to have, like, you know, the idea was to say, yo, let's take, you know, just the EPs to kind of warm it up. And we only planned, I think, on doing one. We just planned on doing one, and then we did one, and it did well. We were like, oh, we still have a whole bunch of these left. So then we just kind of continued building on that momentum, and not only to give us time to, like, you know, plan everything out later on in the year, but it gave us an opportunity to see people interact with us in a way that's different, because we were dropping at such a consistent rate that, you know, people were looking for it. You know, that was a new thing for me. Like, so when's this next thing happening? I'm used to people being like, oh, I'm good on this. I'll see when the next thing comes. Like, I'll just wait for it when it comes. So for then to be like, oh, we gotta drop this one next month or next week, or dropping a visual, and it was having people on their toes and excited for what was coming next. That was really dope. And so it was kind of on the fly. It wasn't really planned out that way. We just kind of built it as we went along.
Steely?
I felt like another thing is that the Stainless sessions that we were doing. So we kept going into the studio a couple of days a week, and what happened was it's just me and Dre always used to build and connect. But then the team started getting bigger. We started getting more artists, and then when that happened, it's kind of to the point where, like, we wanted to give them rollout and show what new things are happening. And like he said, once we were rocking with Dark Victory and we had these records left over, we wanted to give them an EP to just kind of test the waters, just see what people are doing. And I think the thing we was always about quality over quantity. But then we also understood that when it came to quality and quantity, we didn't realize that, yo, you can do an album with 14 records and then break them up. And now we're hitting both of those. Now we're hitting quality and quantity, because we have quality music, but now the way we're dishing it out to the fans, we're giving them quantity, right? And we would set it up where now they can look out for it and see what's going on. And once that built that momentum, like he said, people were looking for it. Like my bro just came down here from Seattle and he was like, yo, when did this come out? I said, they're all out now. And he's like, yeah, but when? I said, bro, we did 4 projects in the summer. Yeah. And that shit is just, that was hard to digest. Like, he's like, what the fuck you mean 4? I was like, yeah, we dropped 4 projects in the summer with videos, with different things going. And I think when that happened, I think it displayed a lot of different things. It displayed Dre's talent that people already know of him as an artist, but as a producer, as an engineer. Like, a lot of people don't understand, he's quarterbacking a lot of the different situations.
Facts.
And then necessarily to the point of, like, me coming up with the mindset and, I mean, the game plan and basically just pushing the brand and also the product to the label to let them know what we're coming with. I think that's what made us know like, oh, this shit can work.
Steely, to follow up with you, right? Because y'all had spent so much time being more on the side of quality over quantity, was the transition harder to make in terms of being an artist that is now dropping in immediate time versus being like, yo, we're just cooking this up in the meantime and we'll drop whenever we feel like it?
No, the reason why I don't think it was harder is because I think as an artist, you strive to be like a perfectionist, right? You strive to necessarily make something the best it can be. But then also at the same time, you gotta kind of also listen to your fan base. And your fan base, if your fan base didn't tell you like, yeah, I get that you want this to be all this, but like, we just like this and we're cool with this. And like, if you just keep like, I've always noticed when I drop projects, sometimes it took so much longer for people to get to track 9 or track 10. And I'm like, what if I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know track 9 and 10 is fire. But what if I sit here and say, all right, here's 3 tracks. Let you eat that for a second. And then I bring out the chorus. Like, all right, here's the appetizer. Here's the main. Here's the dessert. If I bring everything at one time and don't get you to like, it'll give you a chance to like actually set yourself up for it, you're not gonna get to it. And I think that's what helped us, and also understand why it wasn't that hard because we understood and believed in our music and what we were doing. And also just the numbers in the waves showed that. Like we was moving.
Dre, for you, when you think about that creative process of last year, dropping that many projects, quarterbacking and everything, is that an experience do y'all see repeating again in the near future?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, we've done it, and the experience was dope. I think creating it was really dope. You know, coming into those sessions and us, because we'll record stuff and you know have just like the hook and just the verse, and then we'll come back next week, listen to it, like, oh, this is hard, and then someone else jumps on it, and you know, so that creative process where we were in real rapid time, where we were like, yo, we gotta finish it by this time, that recording process was fun. Now putting it all together and making sure everything sounds right and adding those accent sounds and producing around songs that already produced, that can be a little tedious and strenuous sometimes. But overall, creating it is just so much fun. And I enjoy the process a lot.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to shift the vibes real quick. Before we get back to the music, I want to talk about the team itself because y'all have had a lot of great growth as a team. Shout out to Self, shout out to Money Rich, shout out to the whole squad, man, at Stainless Global. Steely, when you think about the growth of the squad over the past year, what is something that you're most proud of?
So the thing I'm proud of is I feel like our positions have shifted. Like, so me becoming like a CEO and kind of necessarily of the Stainless and putting it together, but then also Dre shifting to the point of like Dre is really necessarily, he's hands-on and really molding these different artists. And I think the big thing I wanted to show is like, I feel like we are able to like, I feel like we've created a sound, but I also feel like we're able to necessarily take something that we see dope and nurture it into something bigger and better. And like, I love to sit here and see like what Dre did for my music, I'm seeing him do for other people's music. And like, us to be like, yo, like, I would say that Dre is literally like the first artist out of Stainless and what he's become. And now he's like, all right, now we're going to do this with you. Now we're going to do, and to understand, like, you know what I'm saying, like, wholeheartedly how much these artists trust us. You know what I'm saying? Like, for people to walk up to you, like, yo, we want you to executive do our project. We want you to take this to a certain level. And that part means something. And like, to say, like, Self's been with me since day one. Like, Self's always been, but it's so ill to see people get reintroduced to Self and not understand how nice this nigga is. Like, this nigga's nice, you know what I'm saying? Money Rich, always been a fire artist, you know what I'm saying? To sit here and start to hear these stories and these different intricate things about himself that people can relate to and fuck with. Kayende, which is a totally different sound. Kosi has a very, very unique, ill sound. And he's becoming, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a unique artist that's necessarily to hit certain niche audiences that really can become like a cult following. Like, I think these are dope things that are happening. And I think that was it.
Dre, for you, when you're in the studio working with the entire team, and you know, I've had the chance to be in the studio with y'all where the team does show up and y'all show out. what is something that you always take away from those moments of working with the music, or working on the music with the team? Is it like, damn, like we really got a talented squad, or this record is insane, or I didn't know y'all were capable of pulling off certain things. Like obviously there's a respect there. I know how talented you are. We were a team, we're teammates, but like, damn, I didn't know you had that in you. Like, what is something that you've taken away from those studio experiences?
I think what I've taken is that they really trust me in a way that has been different for me. So before Steel, like I was doing everything on my own. So working with other artists more on some feature stuff. So when Steel kind of gave me the green light to produce a lot of his stuff, he would care what I thought about records. Like all of that was kind of new to me. So to get with other artists in the studio, and they're like, "Yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, you also respect my opinion and stuff." Especially with artists, sometimes like everybody can kind of get set in their own way, and you don't ever want to step on someone's toes. So for someone to look at what I've done and feel like, "Yo, you can help take this further, or you can help me not always take it further, but sometimes just go in a different direction. Like these are records I haven't done before. You do this sound. Hey, can we do something like this?" And just building that trust and camaraderie with the team, because it's not easy to build. So I think that was more fun, watching them go, "Oh, how can I say it like this?" And I go, "Nah, say it like this." And they'll say it just like that. And I'm like, "Oh, they'll see it." I get to see that expression in real time, where that was only something I had with Steel for a really long time.
Was there a particular moment, I want to ask both of y'all, where amidst of the building of this team over the last year in the studio, where you realized like, okay, in this particular moment, like, yo, we got a squad. Like, this is really going to work. Because y'all have had that between the two of y'all, so that's solidified. And of course, Steely, you and Self been solidified. But as a collective, was there a moment while on this musical journey where y'all were like, damn, like, yo, we really got the squad. Like, folks aren't ready for this.
I would say, for me, when I figured it out, we were in the studio one time. It was all five of us in there. And, like, we weren't even talking about music. Like, we were just in there just laughing. I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were just in there cutting jokes. I was like, no, we got like a family here, And I think that has always been more important. I think that's why, as building the team out, it's taken so long to kind of put out other artists and expand the brand. Because it's like we're a family. Like Steel knows my grandmother, my mom, my mom's side of my family, my dad. Like he's tied in with me. And same thing with his family. Like all his friends are like my best friends. Mm-hmm. So to bring somebody else in has always been, but what kind of cloth they cut from?
Yeah.
Do they understand how we move? Do we have the same levels of respect in all ways? So when we got in the studio and one day we just laughing and we just talking about a whole bunch of stuff, I was like, damn, like y'all are really my family. And at that moment, that's when everything kind of clicked for me. Like the talent I had seen in everybody, but those moments of camaraderie were really like, nah, easy guys.
Steely, what about you?
I feel like a big thing when it comes to the whole team.
Hold on, he was laughing about child support.
That's always something.
Great job.
I guess based on your stance, you may find that funny or not.
It was a good joke.
How do I transition from that?
Yeah, I'll take some heat off. I find
child support
from time to time funny.
Try not to get on that. But I think the thing about it when it comes to like the whole team is like Dre said, which is very something that kind of like came from like my childhood friends, where like you kind of know everyone and what cloth they're cut from, and to the point where like you can almost see mannerisms and where their lineage from. So it comes to the point where it's like it's deep rooted. Like it's to the point where, you know what I'm saying, it's not just like I just don't fuck with you off of music. I don't like shit like that. Like I don't give a fuck how talented you are. It's like if I can't fuck with you in real life, don't fuck with me. Like I don't want to hang out with you, because it just seems at that point where it's just like it's like a coworker vibe or like a associate vibe. Like I don't rock with it. And I think the thing about the dope thing about music, which I love, is that your hunger and drive for music is usually the foundation. Yeah. Once you can show me your hunger and drive for music and remain yourself. The thing I love about everyone in Stainless is that they're themselves. They're not acting like anything. They're not trying to become anything. They know themselves, and you're accepted for yourself. You don't got to be a gangster. You don't got to be the richest person. You could just be yourself and find the dope in that. Like find the art in that. And like I think that's where that shit stood up. And like I remember my childhood friend. I remember like all my bros from Morris. Like that was something that stood where it's like you being accepted for yourself and being yourself adds so much more to the team. And I think that's something that I like I love. Like going on tour with certain people and like Kosi's a good way where like
shout out to Kosi.
Kosi
Shout out to
is
Kosi,
a unique individual.
Yo,
and
I know that Juice story, hilarious.
Bro, like those are the
hilarious.
moments that mold that, right? Like you need those moments, and like Kosi's a dude where it's like, yo, I know you, bro. Like I really know you, and I don't the shit that I don't like, and I always tell them like, if I can't put certain shit past niggas, I don't like that. Like if someone said something to me, like someone say something about Dre, and I'll be like, you're a damn lie. Like, you're a bold-faced lie. You're lying. That's not real. And I know that, and I don't even gotta ask this nigga. Like I know that's what, like if you say something lie, but then if you say some shit like, oh yeah, that's probably Dre. Like,
He probably did that.
yeah, I don't. That's the thing. Like if I can't put shit past you, bro, or if I don't, that's where that fucks up for us. And when it came to a team, everyone knows who they are, and I'm fine with that. Like that's what makes shit easy for me.
Gotta talk about the Stainless barbecue.
Yeah.
We wasn't gonna get through, a Stainless interview without mentioning the Stainless barbecue, man. First of all, I just want to say once again, Steely, thank you for being a great host.
I appreciate
And of course,
it.
the team, y'all being great hosts as well. The sliders, brother.
Yeah.
Yo, them sliders.
Bro.
The self sliders.
The sliders was hitting, my boy. The drinks was hitting and everything.
Oh yeah, the cool,
The rum punch?
Yeah,
That cool kid
man,
rum
that's
punch.
right. It was hitting.
Yeah.
But real talk though, y'all created such a dope moment for Westchester music with that, to where y'all really created real conversation, inspiration, great combos there. You know, some folks mad didn't get the invite.
I heard.
You know what I'm saying?
I heard.
But
I
still,
swear there was no shots taken. I was just
of course, never that. Steely, for you and the team, right? To go from ideating about such a concept to actually bringing it to life, how did it feel?
It felt amazing. It felt good because I kind of feel like a couple reasons. Me coming up, we didn't have no one to give us our flowers or even to give us the platform that give us our flowers. And like once again, I say this a billion times. I say it with SRL, Foresight, Poncho, like you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys creating that platform for us. It also gave me to the point where like I wanted to connect with artists and let them know like, yo, I'm a fan of you too, and what you've done inspired us to do this. And I was talking to Fuge, and Fuge was like, yo, bro, that would be a great idea. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Fuge is one who put the battery pack in my back to like think that I wanted to do it. And then once I did it, it was just to the point where like once we started to go over the list and be like, yo, there's so much to pick from. Like niggas is nice. Like there's so many artists that has had big impacts and that has done so many things. And then even when we went to the media, like bro, it was hard to do it with you because it was because we have like, all right, Foresight, but then we have Arden, and it's like they're two different things. Because the content and the drive that you were doing, it's like shit. Like you technically would pick twice, bro, because it was real shit. Because
I saw that in my set.
Like it was big, and it was like, and I wanted it because, bro, like in our town, there's just not. There's no one that co-signs you. There's no big homies that put you on the things. And I guess I found myself being a big homie, but which I never saw myself like that. But like there was just so many situations where it's like, yo, this nigga did a crazy run this year. How like we don't got no awards for this? Like niggas is making like moves to the point where they're not even just local. Like some niggas is actually making like national moves where it's like they're hitting numbers where it's like, why shouldn't this be talked about? So yeah, I wanted to, and it was our recognition. It was how we felt about it. Doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. It's just how it's what caught our eyes, what came down our timeline. You feel me? Now how people felt about it made me understand how valuable maybe our perspective is, but that doesn't mean their perspective is not valuable also. So it just changed a lot.
Dre, for you, when you saw from your POV, right, the reaction to the barbecue, again, the good, the bad, the indifferent, what was your biggest takeaway from it?
I mean, from the jump, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't with the idea of the barbecue. I'm not even gonna lie. Like literally, Kenny was like, "Yo, we're gonna do a barbecue. We're gonna show love to everybody." I went, "Oh, sure, let's do it." It's like, well, we're gonna vote some people in. I was like, I don't want to vote people. I don't want to do that. No, like let's. And literally, we went back and forth for like 2 weeks about it, and eventually we just came to a point. I was like, you know what? Steele usually has a vision, and there's plenty of times where I don't see what he's doing, but I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it. Like I'm just gonna do it. And I remember there was a point within the event, I was like, nah, this is really dope. Like he really saw something I didn't see. And once again, it's like that when you got a team. Like he doesn't always see what I'm doing. And sometimes he just be like, fuck it, let him do him. And it works out more often than not.
It ain't gonna lie. It works out every time. It almost.
Yeah.
So as much as I don't even like it, it works the fuck out. I ain't gonna lie.
It's part of having a great team.
Yeah,
so I think the experience of watching it come together, it was like, yo, it was so elevated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was elevated in a way that I didn't even think was even possible when the idea came about. I was just happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? So to actually see it come together just from a simple conversation was just dope for me.
Is it surreal, and either of you can kick off this next question, is it surreal, right, to be from the 9, to have been a part of the movement that it has created in music, and to remember like at one point this scene, at least this era, didn't exist? Like, because personally, this would be the longest I talk before a question. Like, I find myself more and more like just having a surreal feeling, because it's like, yo, like when we started with Foresight, we had no examples of people to follow in the media space, and then it was sparse in terms of like, yo, can we actually like find talent around here? So it's like you're literally going into like darkness hoping to find light. You just got to go by faith, and then it's like so cool to see a scene actually develop over the years to where it's like there's more media people, there's more artists, there's more showcases, there's more creatives, to where now it's like, yeah, we are the OGs, we are the big brothers, big sisters. There's people who have now got started, and I say this from Foresight's POV, that have told me like, yo, they got into the media space because they saw Foresight do stuff. So for them, it's like, yo, we were their example of how to do something out of Westchester. And for y'all, so is it surreal to have that moment as well? Because there's artists, whether they told y'all or not, that are like, yo, we decided to take this seriously or get started because we saw a dude from Mount Vernon, a dude from their show get busy. And they like, yo, I didn't know that it was possible.
I definitely think it's surreal. I also feel like from like what you just said, like there's no blueprint. So when you're doing it and you're like actually going by faith, what feels good is that you start to see people relate to it. You start to see people actually understand and digest those struggles. And that's the thing about this shit, bro, where it's like you gotta kind of be a little bit fucking like mentally insane a little bit, because there's no gratification. Like there's no instant gratification from it, right? Like you have to do it to the point where it's like once it does start to come through, it's like, okay, I didn't fuck up. I did, because I mean, nice is just lonely and just to the point where you don't know if it's going to work, and you still choose to do it, and you still choose to push, and you still choose to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, because at this point, bro, all we did is shoot in the dark until something started bleeding, bro. We started shooting in any direction until we hit something, and once we found it, we followed that direction. And I think, yeah, it gets scary to that. But then you start to realize, like, how did anything start? How did hip hop start? How did rap and roll start? How did anything that became something start? It didn't have a blueprint. It had to be something different for you to push through. And like for us to create, like we created a true scene to the point where it's even like, bro, there's no talent in 914 that I'm not known at. Like I don't know, but it's also there's so many different things that y'all put me on. Like you mean talking about look through your like remember y'all used to go. You still do now, but y'all used to go crazy with the stories.
Yeah.
That's how I found people, bro. Yo, bro, like any y'all.
Yeah, we bringing those back.
Bro, yo, bro, that's how I found people. What's it? Rapping Receipts when they used to do. I met them straight through them. Of course, SRL. And you know what? I gotta give Wish listening because he did it. Crush Pro when he was doing Crush Pro when he was doing the fucking Numbers on Fire. Yo, bro, he introduced me to people and it showed me different people. So like, it's big for us to push on that shit, bro. It's very big for us to push on that shit.
I think, it's crazy we have this conversation because we literally were just talking about this at the City TP joint. Yeah, we were like, in Brooklyn, looking at, we was like, literally like, that was a view, over here by Dumbo. We looking right out the window. I'm like, yo, we looking inside, like, yo, we from Westchester, bro. Yeah. It's like, there was nobody. The only person I saw coming up was my Uncle Greg. Yeah. He was the only person who I knew from around the way. He was on billboards and magazines and signed on a label. Like he was the only one, and it was just like I just thought that was for him. Yeah, I didn't think of it as a collective 914 thing. Yeah, and I think that's for a lot of us growing up seeing individual stuff. Like, saying, oh, I know this one guy did this. I know one guy. So to have an entire scene for people to be inspired by, I'm just happy to be part of it. Yeah,
as well as just like the secret discoveries about such and such is from here. Yeah. And nobody knew it, or like somebody went to school here and you didn't know it. Versus now, there's this turn of face where we're like, "Yep," somebody comes up, "Yep, they're from Rockbrook, they're from their shell, they're
it's
from
said
whatever."
with pride now too.
Yeah, it's said with pride. It's an actual scene here where it's like momentum, and I think even for me, before I get to the next question, I realized like, no matter what happens with Fourside, we officially have a legacy. Mm-hmm. Because people saw us, and it's like, regardless of what happens, we literally helped inspire the next. And amongst a lot of things you want to do, that's all you can hope for. So I felt like that was like incredibly important for that. Zach, is it still rolling right here?
This one overheated.
All right, yeah.
Sorry.
Keep going. Want to get back to the music, right? Because with what y'all were able to do with all the vibes from Global Warming, Steely, when you think about those 4 projects, what do you think is like the constant theme that defined that overall run?
Good question. I think what it came to the point is just it was like a lot of different vibes, and I think what it also gave us to the point is that I think we're solidifying when it comes to making records and making music that on any level we can perform. And I feel like also time, like I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. For us to have the time that we did this in, bro, we did this pretty fucking quick.
Oh yeah.
And we did it, and every time we did it, we hit marks. Like we always hit our target. And like I ain't gonna front, like, and it also showed us that you gotta grow in uncomfortable places. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. And we don't like a lot of things that we were doing, we didn't like. We don't like we don't like we don't like.
I don't like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of shit.
He don't like, so a lot of shit where it's like, yo, like, we have a 2-week deadline. Yeah, but 2 weeks. If we don't come up with something else, right, it's going out like this. This is it. So if you don't like it, you gotta change it. 2 weeks, that's it. But it don't matter. So yeah, these are the 4 records. You're gonna live and die with them. And yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I had y'all years. I had y'all years to drop. It's our turn now. The records king.
Drop the records.
Yeah, we'll highlight you next. I'll highlight you next Thursday at the shoot.
I'll be right
there. Let you know what I think.
Nah, that's a fact.
Dre, what about you, man? What do you think was the common theme amongst the 4 releases for Global?
I think the dope thing about it is there wasn't much of it. I think none of the records like really, like if you put them all in a project like you did for the 4, it's like they don't really necessarily fit an album way, but they're just a collection of dope songs. And I think, especially for us always trying to make this super cohesive project and every song's got to be this and that, to have a body of work where like, it's just a bunch of dope songs.
Yeah.
Like people could appreciate that too. And realizing that has a space to live with the music, because we try to like tell people what they should like, or this is how it should be presented. And it's like everybody likes things in different ways, and being able to fit in different. What was the word we used? Fit in different. We were just talking about it before cameras. Either way, just had
Circumstances?
Circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was another word. Let's go circumstances. You know what I mean? But I was just happy to see it being able to fit in another space for us.
What was your favorite record from it? For me, easily Remember. I literally play that record, not just saying because I had homies. I literally play the record every day.
Oh, that's love.
That's like that's probably like the top. I think that's my favorite record ever from Steelyone.
Wow.
As a collective, I just really like that record.
Wow.
What was fun about the song was like, because who Johnson did that, right? Johnson's
A lot. I want to say this, and that's what I want to say on the team player. A lot of these records that are on what's name, they were supposed to be like mine, like my solo record. But then it's to the point where we were doing this, and there would be like I started a verse and I couldn't finish, and Dre would come through and bless a hook or say something. I'm like, shit, man, I was never gonna be able to do that. Then Self would come through, and it's like they became this like cohesive stuff where like we had records where like they were started and they weren't finished, and every time the team came through, these niggas just wouldn't miss. And I'm like, yeah, nah, this has to be it.
Real quick, I gotta ask you a question, man. Who co-signed Self at the top of his verse on Remember to be like, oh man, before he started rapping?
Self don't need nobody.
Self don't need nobody.
What made y'all think that though? I wonder that every time I listen to it. I've never heard him say, oh man, before a verse in my life.
Self, if you go back, that's one of Self's trademarks 10, 15 years ago. That's been Self's trademark.
And it's funny for you to say, like, you don't really hear, because, like, I've been recording for the past 2 years, and his project ain't out yet, but he does it on every record.
Yeah.
It's like,
Alright, so I might as well get
you know what I'm saying?
Great verse, Self.
Yeah.
My God, but I was like, yo, I don't recall.
Yeah.
You ever sang.
That's
Like
always,
the way
always
he said it, I was like, all right.
Yeah. That's
Here we go. Here we go.
That's been his joint. If you can go back a minute ago. Self been doing that, but
Yeah, originally Remember was a record that he had set for his project, and in trying to put stuff together, you know, he added it for us, and I think even the hook that we kind of put together is like a real collective. Yeah, like I remember like I had this other kind of melody, and I was like, and I came back in, and I was like, what's that? Like, and it was just like we were building this idea of this record together, and I think that. It's funny that you think that's your favorite record, because as of all the records, I think that to me was the one I remember the most, where we all kind of played a part in creating that song in a way.
I also feel like that record, for me, signified like, okay, these dudes are really growing in a way musically, right? Because it's like, and that actually leads me to my next question, because, you know, having been in the studio with y'all recently, hearing these unreleased, y'all are going places sonically where I gotta say, like, yo, like Steely, I like, yo, I ain't think you was gonna go there sonically. Like, you recently, I'm like, yo, I did not think you going there sonically. Like, what is the spark of this growth, man? Because it's like, yo, y'all are already performing at such a high level with it that I really do believe when the people hear the upcoming music, it's gonna be like a genuine but very pleasant surprise.
I'm old, so because I'm old, the old stuff don't really do it for me no more. So if I, you know what I mean? Like if I keep doing this, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing this for so long, and if I didn't,
what were we when we were 20s?
You know what I mean? I'm not into that no more. I don't want to do it no more. I leave that for the young bucks.
Yeah, it is for the young fellas, man.
You know what I'm
Young
saying?
fellas.
So yeah, just if I kept doing the same stuff at 20, son, it would get boring. And also, it would be arrogant of me to think I've done everything in music that can be done. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm still just a student of it all. So there's so many different stones I haven't turned yet. So I'm going to continue to do it until I don't. Yeah, that's how I see it. I love it.
I think when so the dope thing about it is everyone has a space to like take when it comes to singing. Everyone has a lane. But another thing about it is and we go in and make records, there is a you know what I'm saying, like steel sharpens steel. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a point where we're always trying to up and become better than we can. And I feel like no matter what, like I'm not gonna lie, bro, like I'm very confident in myself musically, but I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I done learned something from Dre to push my music something else. And also just to the point of knowing like the records that this motherfucker can come up with, the records that Self come up with, Money Rich, like there's these records like people can bring to the point where we're trying to fight for space on your on your iPhone, on your playlist. And the mindset of it is to the point where it's like, yo, there's 30 songs on that playlist. I need 15 of them to be stings. And every time we're trying to aim it. So with that being said, we're always trying to aim at each other. Like, you did that last week? All right, then nigga, fuck, I got something else. Oh, you did this week? Oh, all right. And we're going to keep trying to do it. But at the same time, we're also at a place where it's like, I ain't gonna lie to you, my nigga. You could do that better. I ain't gonna lie to you, my nigga. Like, I know we in this friendly competition, but I'm not, I feel right now I could beat you 25 to zip right now. And that's not you, my nigga. You a 60-40 shooter. You know what I'm saying? You want to get 20 rebounds. You a nigga that's gonna really come to play. You could be better than that. And I feel like that's what pushes us, and that brings us to the point to always perform at a higher level. And then when we're done with that, we're clipped up to go outside and be like, all right, now we're ready to take on whoever. We're ready to go on. Because in all honesty, it's like the 10,000 hours has been done. Like niggas just did it. Like we really fucking did it. Like we didn't lie. We didn't cheat. We really got here. Like we really got here. And the only thing that's stopping us is just you being late. We've been where we at. We are who we are. I swear to you, we are who we are. And I'm ready to go like, man, I got 30 records right now. I'm ready to go against anyone. And I feel confident in that. But it's always about pushing that narrative. It's always about really testing it with each other and being like, yo, bro, are you willing to go outside and go against anybody with this? Because it can't leave here until it is that. And I think that's the mindset that we have. You feel me?
I gotta say, because it killed me all. I just joke. Now I'm on 4 verses.
Oh, verses.
So, shout out to Crush, man.
But in all honesty, though, to be real with you, I think that was a great space to be in, a great energy to be in, and I think it helped discover a lot of people. But the reason why I didn't disrespect the culture or myself to do a versus is because my mindset, I haven't done enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, like, let's do something to the point where you got records that's ringing off for 10 years, 20 years, where it's to the point where you have the audience singing your record. If I don't know who you are, who the fuck am I to do a versus with you? Matter of fact, why don't we do a song together and let's push that? Or you want me to do a versus where it comes to the point where, and also respectfully, you want me to do a versus, and let's say we do it in person, and 250 people buy my tickets, and 30 people buy your tickets. You think you gonna fucking beat me, nigga? How you gonna beat me if I got 280 niggas came to see my records that actually they know and they gonna sing, and you got 30 niggas that's going, all right, well, does that make sense?
Don't. Are you saying that loud?
Like it doesn't make sense, and it's not me like trying to trump niggas. It's saying, nigga, we ain't done yet. We got work to do. Stop trying to get your fucking MVP, nigga. And you're a rookie. Stop doing that. Niggas ain't put fucking work in.
That's all it is. It was an ego. People feel the ego. For some people, I think, you know what I'm saying. Like you started off with, like the idea of it was dope to bring new artists to a spot they weren't in before. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
I think there became a point where I was like, oh, this is an ego thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that with niggas. Like I'm not here to make you feel better about yourself, bro. Like I'm not here for that.
Last question. Steely, your last 2 answers were incredible. So I'm gonna give you to go to the bench. you can clock out. Dre got one more foul to get before he gets subbed out the game. So we don't close out with him.
Bring us home.
Dre, when you think about yourself and then when you think about Stainless, what is your biggest hope for everyone involved in 2024?
2024, I want everybody to, because I've been on the team the longest and experienced a lot more than everybody else. You know, the last show we did in Poland, that was Self's first time coming out, and I remember we had gotten off the stage, and like while other people were performing, we were just watching the show, and there were people like screaming, and like I'm used to it. I ain't doing that. So I was like, yo, let's go in there. I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, Steel ain't never trying to do nothing crazy with me, so I'm like, fuck it. So we get to the crowd, and he's like really like embracing everybody and hugging everybody, and I'm like, people are screaming for me, but I'm so in the moment with him. With like, yo, this is his first time experiencing this. Like, I can't. That's what I want 2024. More moments like that I've already had, that I'm trying to expand and watch somebody else on the team have their moment and like relive it through them. Because for me, the new moments, like they're dope, but I've come to understand these are just moments. But reliving those things, that can happen again. I can't relive my moment, but I can experience a great moment with someone else.
That's beautiful. Yeah, you can play for you.
Yeah, man.
You can get out the game.
Yeah,
You know, that's
you
round of applause, man. Dre, Steely, appreciate y'all boys, man, for tapping in as usual for us out, man. Love is love for y'all, man. Make sure y'all check out the guys' socials and everything will be here. Be on the lookout for what they're going to do in 2024. By the way, they got more stuff that they're going to share with the people about what's going to happen this year at a later date. I'll leave that to them.
Victory coming, you heard? Victory's is dark.
Arden signing
Victory,
off.
Soul Story, all that.
Arden signing off from Coexist and Gaming. Shout out to the Space for letting us be here. Shout out to Zach behind the camera, making sure the visions ever captured
Peace
beautifully.
Coexist.
Arden signing off. Later.